top story, Diepsloot residents have bid farewell to their community policing forum chairperson. John Manqoba was murdered earlier this month. His body was brought to his Diepsloot home before his body is transported back to Limpopo. In fact, residents have intensified their protests and marched to the local police station. They've shut down the area over high crime rates, claiming that police have abandoned them and criminals have taken over. Manqoba Mchunu is there with more. Manqoba, we saw more protest action today with residents vowing to intensify the demonstrations. I mean, one of the local leaders have slammed the Helen Suzman Foundation. Tell us why.
Well, they're saying essentially that the Helen Suzman Foundation and other foundations that have been speaking against xenophobia and against, the discrimination or issues around, some of the calls by residents for illegal immigrants to be sent back home. They're saying that those utterances by the Helen Suzman Foundation are uncalled for, really, because they're saying that they have evidence that it's actually undocumented immigrants here in this community that are terrorizing this particular community. So essentially they were saying that they don't want to hear from such organizations as far as the issues are concerned, because they're the ones who are living the experience here on the ground, the experience of crime, and they're the ones that are being terrorized by these criminals in the community. And of course, the community members insisting that it is actually the illegal immigrants that are behind the crime in this community that are terrorizing this community. So there's very strong words for organizations and the foundation, more especially the Helen Suzman Foundation, where they said that the Helen Suzman Foundation should stop interfering in issues when they're trying to ensure that those that are undocumented, those that are not here legally in the country, should be sent back home or be documented properly in the country. They, however, applauded the Department of Home Affairs for its efforts to try and deal with this particular issue. As you can see, William, the residents are still at it. They are still on the streets here in Diepsloot. Just a short while ago, in fact, they had been moving along here, the streets, with the body of the former and the late CPF chair, John Manqoba, that was heading home to Limpopo. So they had gone up until the N14, just showing respect to John Manqoba as he, of course, makes his way home ahead of the burial on Saturday. But I just want us to take a listen, William, to what the residents had to say earlier on about the Helen Suzman Foundation and what they say they're against some of the utterances and some of the court actions that they've taken. Take a listen.
We're not targeting foreign shops. We're targeting illegal foreigners that are in our country. We're making a call even to this foundation, your Helen Suzman Foundation. We're making a call to them. They must stop supporting wrong things. They are not feeling our pain as people in the township, and we feel they are not representing us. They are not for us. We don't know which agenda they are pushing. How can you oppose a government that is elected by the people? That people are crying to this government who say, we have a problem of illegal foreigners. Helen Suzman will run to court and oppose each and every progress that is made by Department of Home Affairs to chase people who are illegal in our country. So we are with Home Affairs. We have seen the offer that is done by Home Affairs Department, but we have a stumbling block, a foundation that is called Helen Suzman Foundation. We really don't know which interests are they representing. So as people of Diepsloot, we are going to intensify our protests that call for a president to come here together with 4 ministers that include justice, that include human settlement, that include home affairs, that include police. So indeed, we are intensifying our strike today. We are not stopping.
Manqoba, what would your assessment be of today's events? Would you say things have relatively been peaceful or not?
Well, William, I didn't quite catch your question. The network is quite bad here, but I'm just telling you that, what we're seeing here is agitation and anger from community members who are insisting that they are not going to stop with this particular protest up until the president comes to address them. And earlier on, what we saw were community members targeting again some of the shops here that they say are owned by illegal foreign nationals in this area, whom they accuse of being behind the crime in this area. They did make a specific mention that it is mainly Zimbabweans that are behind some of the crime here in the area, and I guess the police minister also alluding to that yesterday when he spoke. The residents are saying that they are not xenophobic. This is just merely to ensure that they remove the criminal elements from this community. But it has been quite concerning, though, to see the number of children that have been part of this particular protest. And, I did ask the leaders to explain the reason behind the children that you're seeing. They are not concerned about the safety of the children. And one of the leaders said, they cannot really control children. They are trying, of course, not to allow them to be part of the protest, but at the same time they are saying that some of these children have lost their loved ones in criminal activities here in this community. But take a listen to what that community leader had to say.
Kids are kids. You'll tell them this, they do that, but we are managing that situation. We are dealing with, you are telling kids that are underage must not form a part of that. But sometimes these kids, they understand what is happening in the community. Some of them have lost their parents through criminal activity. Sometimes when you see them here, they feel the pain and they know the pain because they are part of this community. But we don't want them to be part of this, just in case anything bad happens.
I want to talk about schooling as well, because I saw some of the schools also being disrupted. Is this part of the shutdown, or, these were just precautionary measures that were taken?
We believe that schools are closed. We don't know which schools that were disrupted, but businesses around the society must sympathize with us, must be in solidarity with us. When we say shut down, we're expecting malls to shut down, because they must sympathize with us. We are the customers of this mall. This mall are standing here because of us. When we're facing challenges of crime, we're expecting them to sympathize with us.
That's our reporter live to us from the ground in Diepsloot at the moment, Manqoba Mchunu. We will, of course, keep our eyes glued on that story. It is developing. One of the leaders alluding to the fact that they will head to the N14, and the aim is to shut down the economy so that they can get the attention they desire.